J.
Hi everyone, this is J.M.Wong again. Welcome to another video. And yes, this is the second day of my Easter holiday. I'm so glad that I could get to film this video. And yes, I just came back from the cinemas and I've watched this film called Ready Player One. The trailer had been all over the place for such a long time and I have so much expectations for it. And now that I finally watched it, I could finally talk about it. But before I talk about it, I want to introduce my new way of watching a movie. So when I watch a movie, I always have this thought, is like I want to jot down everything. I want to jot down any notes related to my immediate reaction to the movie. And it's quite hard and you don't want to turn on your phone in the middle of the movie and disturbing others, right? I've seen people like that, but I don't really like it, so I won't do it myself. And then my friend, who is also a movie lover, introduced this new way, which is he bought his notebook with him, and also a pen, of course, and then he could jot down notes in the dark. I was like, oh, could you even see the words you have written? And he gave a really good point, which is if you like write it down, even if it's like messy, the words are messy, when you look back at your notes, you kind of get the idea. It's in fact an idea already stuck in your mind. It's just you need a little bit of words or a little bit of shapes to remind you what the point is, like clearly, more clearer. And I did it in the dark. While I watched the movie Ready Player One, I jot down a lot of random notes here and also another page here. Or it's a bit messy, but I get what my friend was saying. When I look back at the notes, I know what my points were. I remember, I record the points I want to talk about relating to this movie, and which is great because I have so much that I want to talk about this movie, and I feel like that the first feeling that I had of this movie is really, really complex, I would say. So yes, speaking of this movie, Ready Player One, I would say, yeah, as I've mentioned, a lot of complex feelings, and it's between like, oh, I really, really like the special effects, the animation, and any techniques that have been used in this movie. But at the same time, I'm angry, disappointed at the storyline. So that being said, that means there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So remember that, spoiler ahead, spoiler alert. Just spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this video. So let's start with something good first. I would say this movie is suitable for people who love special effect, any animations, looking for filming techniques, something like that. Yes. Other similar movies would be Valerian, and as well as Avatar, like movies like that. But I'm not sure whether you guys have seen these two movies, but when I saw these two movies and add up this Ready Player One movies, the same feeling I had is that wow, the sound effects are so great, the techniques are so great, the animations are so great, special effects are so great. But when it comes to the storyline, nah, quite disappointing. And that's why I feel really angry, a bit of angry and disappointed at this movie, because I was expecting something more. But let's talk about the good points again. Have a look about it. Oh, they do have a lot of cross culture, cross genre, and basically you could see a lot of things in this movie. You get to see the horror movie, The Shining in it. You get to see Gundam in it, so that's Japanese culture. There's also Asian actors in it, and there's also basically different thing. Trying to you would feel that the movie is trying to achieve something like being international, like everyone can relate to it, like around people around it. Yeah, I would say something like that. So that was good. And there's this, one of the lesson they want to teach you, kind of like forcing it to you, but, it's still an idea they want to sell. And I think the main idea they want to sell is quite nice, which is when you're playing games or gaming, it's about playing, enjoying the game, but not about winning. And that's something I've learned from the movie, and I would say that it's a very nice idea that I like, I would say. So yeah, that's basically the good thing. I'm sorry. Yes, that's basically the good thing. Now, perhaps let's go to the negative or less positive points about this movie. So about the less positive points, I would say I could definitely speak at least 50 minutes about this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to be brief. The biggest problem I have with this movie, but not just this movie, but most of the movies, nowadays is that they always focus on romance love. They make romance love so important. It's more important than family love. I'm not saying it's wrong. Yes, there should be romance love, but it's too much. It's the weighting on it. It's too much, and it makes other kinds of love, like friendship, family love, so tiny weeny. It's just not reasonable. Like for this movie, I like in the beginning I was like, oh right, that's good. It was all right. I could see that they were going to the romance love that direction. That was all right, but it was until the middle when, okay, spoiler alert, if you don't know, I'm going to spoil a lot of things. The main character's relatives, his aunt and his douche boyfriend, kind of got blown up. You know, they died, and the main character did grieve for them for, I think, right after the bomb. And then after the bomb, he got knocked out. And when he woke up, the first feeling I had of him is that it's like his aunt's and death had never happened before. Okay, it was alright because people deal with grief in different ways. Perhaps he needed the time to process it and, you know, kind of not accept the death of his aunt. I expect something like that. But no, he was immediately, I think it was not more than an hour. If, you know, you kind of see the scenes like jump. He immediately get over this grief as though it never happened and went straight forward for love. It's like they forgot about his aunt's love and he's like, oh, I finally saw the girl in the game whom I love, so I immediately forget everything about my aunt's death. I'm not going to grieve over that, and I'm going to fall in love. I'm going to tell her I love her. I personally have not been through the grief of losing a relative before, luckily at the moment, but like, when death is so close to you, you don't get over it that soon. Like, it's like his aunt's existence just wiped out immediately with the bomb. It's unrealistic, and it just shows how little family love is. Even though I would say yes, perhaps his relationship with his aunt wasn't that good as shown in the beginning of the movie, but aunt dies and there's no actual relations to why the main character wants to fight back. I kind of asked this question, is what kind of message that this movie wants to tell us is like, you fight for romance love and you know, family love is not that important when it comes to gaming. I feel like, I'm not sure, is it intentional and unintentional? I feel like this movie is trying to tell us how bad it is to play games, because it shows how little we care about our family when we are playing games, and it's all about romance. Our families are being forgotten. It just puts the family aspect so little. I feel like it's not necessary. If you're going to, you know, send a positive message about, you know, gaming, because it feels like there's a happy ending in the end, then perhaps you shouldn't at the point where the aunt got killed. What's more, until the end, I was like, yeah, typical police. Once again, throughout the game, there are so many illegal activities that was happening. I know a lot of movies, they portrayed police as useless, and they came in the end to clean up the whole scene. Like, it was until the main character solved the problem, the police will appear. Okay, I understand that. It's like for the plot, and yeah, okay, but in this movie, it's almost not reasonable. How can someone get away with murder, with crime so easily? And it's a big corporation. There's evidence. Oh, speaking of evidence, that's even more funnier. It is in a world where technology is so advanced, you could basically have cameras, you could create video taping device wherever you want, and it is only until the end that the main character thought of, hey, why not videotape the bad guy's words, the villain's words, and send it to police or show it to the world that they are not doing something good. It was until the end. You have so many chances that you can catch this so-called big boss, and you didn't do it. You didn't film anything. You just keep on talking. You just running. I would say a lot of the scenes in the movie, you just feel like people are just stupid inside. They're just there to prolong the whole plot, the whole story. That's all. And speaking of the police, just once again, it was until the end they just suddenly popped up and said, okay, I'm going to capture this big boss. And that was when I knew that world actually had police, because not until the end. I always thought, okay, perhaps this world is just messy. There's no police, there's no rule, no order. That's why no one's gonna do anything except the kids. Like, I have seen the other movie, It. Kids do, do certain things that they could save the day. Yes, it's reasonable. That was reasonable. I would say the whole plot, even though not much, police are involved. But this is like forced. Everything is so forced, and you feel like it's cringy. And I just feel that this is so absurd. Like everything, the effects are great. I just feel like, why can't for once there's a movie where there's nice special effects, nice techniques, nice filming techniques and stuff, but at the same time a very, very good story plot. Because to be honest, I feel like I really like old movies because every one of them, even though the resolution or the effects are not as good as now, but all the stories stay in our heart, and that's the value, the magic of stories. They teach you, they stay in your heart forever, and fictional characters can become your idol or an example to teach someone a lesson, teach someone morals, or to encourage someone. It's like, and I feel like that's what modern or nowadays movies kind of lack of, is that they don't have depth. It's always so shallow, and it's sad because I feel like they have so much effects, they could do so much more, but they don't try to create movies that are so touching, and that makes me sad. It's not really Ready Players One's this movie's fault. It's just the whole industry, movie industry, kind of disappointed me, and therefore I started reading instead, because I feel like movies are nowadays are just. Anyways, I just checked. I think I've talked about 30 minutes, but I definitely have to cut this edit. I just want to get my feelings out, and I want people to know like whether it is worth it to watch this movie. And I would say, whether it is worth it to watch this video, it depends on what you like. If you are looking for nice sound effects, filming techniques, and special effects, definitely go and watch it, because they really put a lot of effort on that aspect. But if you're looking for a nice story plot that is not cringy, or not something that you're going to break a pan, which is what I want to do at the moment, at it, then probably this is not the movie for you. And yes, I guess that's it for today. And let's end this video by saying, remember to stop existing, start living, and be alive. Bye!